Hello everyone and welcome back to another Pokemon Masters video. My name is D-Free. Here today we're going to be talking about the next upcoming Sync Pair Scouts, which will be featuring, yes, you guessed it, Ash and Pikachu. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Hit the hit the subscribe if you're new. We have Hilbert, excuse me. I was just talking about Hilbert off camera. Hilda and Emboar, and Tepig technically, but Emboar. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump into it. So, we do have data mines anyway. Like, I want to point that out. Like, I don't cover the data mines, but there's a lot that gets, every time there's a new data downloaded in game, it gets data mined by the awesome community, the Reddit and all that. So obviously we know a little bit of what their content schedule is, what their plan is. So that being said, we can kind of obviously set up accordingly, right? Summon what you want, don't summon on what you don't want, things like that. So let me know in the comment section down below, do you actually plan to maybe go for Hilda and go from there? For me personally, the collector aspect, I'll do my pulls and hope that I get her. But I'm not gonna like chase or anything like that. And overall, though, I'm just excited to have another fire Pokemon that's good. It feels like fire is a typing that just kind of needs more love, so I'm excited for that. But let's actually also obviously talk about the Pokemon itself, right? So here is Hilda, right? There's her little in-game sprite and stuff, and we have access to Emboar. So the cool thing about Hilda and Tepig is that they actually do have the full unlock chain, or the evolution chain unlocked, excuse me. And I believe that the exchange shop is about to reset. Isn't that a monthly thing? Isn't it about to, I think it's about to reset. So that'll be good. You should be able to get the discounted evolution shards and stuff like that again, because we know how that goes. It can get pretty expensive getting the other ones, and even then you can't get a ton anyway. So that'd be nice. But on top of that, though, I'm excited for this because unlike Sync Pair Scouts like Hilbert and Oshawott, which is kind of what I was talking about off camera, also Brendan and Trico, who I think they'll evolve at some point. They definitely, I think, will. It's just nice to have access to the full evolution chain, right? I mean, especially because it's a Pokemon game. Like, it's so weird to say, oh, I have this Pokemon that can technically evolve, but they can't evolve in the context of this game, at least right now, right? And I think that that's obviously designed because it's a gacha game. They plan to make this game last for several years. Obviously, they've got a ways to go in improving the game, but the content schedule is designed in a way where they're expecting at least a few years of life from this game, because that's the general lifespan of popular gachas anyway, 3-5 years, things like that. So I do think in that time period, those other ones will evolve, but it's nice to have this one unlocked outright in the very beginning. So that's really cool. So let's go ahead and take a look here. We have a physical attacker, so that's really cool for fire types again. We did have like Infernape, and Infernape's okay, right? And we have some other solid fire types like, speaking of data mines, by the way, Zeep Strike is here. Like, there's just a lot. But anyways, yeah, speaking of fire types, though, we had like, I liked Blaine, because I like Sunny Day, Sunny Day. It's a funny day, apparently. Bad joke. So, like, I feel like this typing needed more love. So, the Pokemon description, it can deftly dodge its foes' attacks while shooting fireballs from its nose. It roasts berries before it eats them. Awesome. Huge shout out to Game Press, by the way, for having this information and having it accessible in a ready format. I really do like this site for this type of stuff. So, let's go ahead and for the record, check it out. PokemonMasters.gamepress.gg. I'll leave a link down below. So, we're going to go ahead and take a look at what the Pokemon can do. So, interesting. Let me actually go ahead and go over to Emboar. So, Tepig had the 6th highest HP in the game. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so the highest HP in the game now is actually being held by Emboar. Previously, that was on Meganium. Meganium had access to the highest, and Meganium is now the 2nd highest HP stat in the game. Now, you'll notice something very, very interesting really soon here. Meganium, on a side note, is an entirely different type of Pokemon. Their playstyles are different. So Emboar's HP stat is kind of a, what's the word? It's a little bit of an anomaly because he's an attacker. And his attack stat is very high, among the highest rank one in the game as well, at 317 and then 357 at max promotion. So other than that, though, his defense is below average or about average, however you want to look at it. One of the lower ranked stats in the game. And so is his special defense, so is his speed, and he doesn't need special attack. That doesn't really matter. So all of his other stats are pretty bad. Like, they're not particularly great. Now, the main stat that the Pokemon needs is good, so that's all that really matters. But the thing about the HP is it's a very misleading stat overall. The reason why is because it's artificial bulk. And what I mean by that is if you have 1,000 HP, just as a baseline number, I guess. But you take 800 damage or whatever per hit, right? And that's obviously an extreme scenario. It doesn't really make a huge difference, right? It doesn't really matter if you have a lot of HP, if you take a lot of damage, because your defenses are subpar. Whereas if you had a decent HP stat but very high defenses, you'd obviously take less damage, right? So this Pokemon definitely seems like it wants to be alongside allies that can help it with taking less damage, like Light Screen from Meganium, stuff like that. And you'd be really well off. That actually sounds like a really good pair, because also Meganium has that other support skill anyway. So it's just an interesting scenario, but we'll understand a little bit why this Pokemon has so much HP in a moment when we actually get to explaining what the attacks are. So let's take a look at the first attack. Flame Charge raises the user's speed. This is not a very powerful move, but it's actually good to have the speed buff because of the fact that ideally you have a high attack stat and high speed stat, whether it's special attack or normal attack, just so you can be a pseudo sweeper or things like that. Just kind of make easy work of your opponent, right? Spam your attacks as quick as you can. And the move gauge is only 2 costs, so it's not bad. It's good. I like it. Again, it's not going to hit super hard, but with that attack stat, it'll do pretty good damage. So, Potion. Now, this is good viability, I'd say. It's not very common to have a Potion. For the record, I think this is the first Gacha 5-star. Again, not including free units, right, from the story, but actual summonable 5-star character in the game to have a Potion. You could correct me if I'm mistaken. I don't think that's the case as of right now. And it does feel kind of a little bit misplaced on an attacker. But again, I understand why it's here when we look at Flare Blitz. Now, if you've had any serious experience with Flare Blitz in the main series, I can't talk tonight apparently. You kind of understand a little bit of this. So, unfreezes the user. The user also takes 25% of the damage it dealt to the target. Has a very small chance of leaving the target burned. The attack power goes from 123 to 147 at its max. So it's a very powerful attack, has max accuracy too, but it does recoil damage. So this is why the Pokemon has a lot of HP, and also why the Pokemon has access to Potion. Because they're trying to offset all the damage the Flare Blitz would do to you, right? You take 25% of the damage you deal. So the harder this hits, the more you take. Very interesting playstyle. I struggle to see if this Pokemon... I struggle to understand how this Pokemon can be really competitive in harder content. It's going to be really, really interesting to see how this Pokemon performs because of all the recoil damage in harder content. Because the problem is taking that recoil damage, but also taking damage from the opponent isn't a good combination, especially when his defense is subpar, right? It's going to be really interesting to see. First, his PvE content, where you don't need to do like co-op or whatever. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. But more stuff, it'll probably be harder. So let's take a look at some of the other stuff down here. Try and stop us. If the user's speed has been raised, raises the user's attack by double the amount its speed has been raised. So again, Flame Charge is really good. Flame Charge is very good because buffing your speed is good in general, but by doing that, you even get an attack bonus. And so, like, this passive is why they can give him a potion and not feel bad about it, right? Because he's still getting other stat bonuses and stuff like that. And this is actually a very good passive, actually. I kind of wish that the passive was something to do with maybe healing or something. I don't know. It would have been nice. But again, there's a potion there. But I don't know. It doesn't have to be healing specifically, but maybe offset some of the damage from the recoil. I don't know. But the recoil, the Flare Blitz is going to hit really hard. They designed it to where, they made it to where like it pretty much is going to like two-shot a lot of Pokemon. But again, in harder content, it's not doing that. It's just not. I don't know. We'll have to see this Pokemon in action. And the Sync move has no additional effects. 250 to 300 power. Let's see what they kind of say what the opinions are. Do they have an opinion on the Pokemon down here? It doesn't look like they really have an opinion on the Pokemon. Oh, by the way, excuse me. I was calling this a passive. This is the other skill here. Here are the passives down here. Prevents the Pokemon from getting poisoned or badly poisoned. Antitoxin, which is good. First aid. Okay. Okay, this is what I was talking about. Okay, I was getting a little confused there due to the layout. Excuse me. That was just the fourth attack. Forgive me. It's late. I made a mistake. This was the fourth attack. The passive here. First aid. Okay, this is perfect. Restores a bit of the Pokemon's HP once during battle when the Pokemon is in a pinch. Awesome. When the Pokemon is in a pinch, you heal. Perfect. Really, that type of mechanic is, I feel like, needed for this Pokemon. Because the recoil damage is going to get really nasty really fast. Huh. But again, among fire types, it was practically needed among fire types to have another hard-hitting Pokemon. These are all the fire types in the game. We had Marley and Arcanine, who is good. Cheryl and Blissey, nah, they don't really count. Flint and Infernape, Ponyta, Torkoal, and then the 3 Hilda pairs. Okay, yeah, we needed another fire type. I'll take it. I'll take it for sure. I'm going to definitely do some pulls, and I'd like to see her in action, though. I'm just not a huge fan of her coil, but she's going to hit so freaking hard. And alongside a pair like Lyra and Meganium, I can really see this Pokemon being able to excel because of Lyra's skills. Like Dire Hit All, going to be nice. Light Screen's going to be really, really nice. Sunny Side Up is going to be really nice. Like, there's a lot there. Also, if you have Blaine and Ponyta, that could be really interesting, too, as a trio. So anyways, thank you all for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch all of you in the next one.